G'day and welcome to another Pokemon Go Battle. So jumping straight into Go Battle League, and we're in the Ultra League, and I'm going to jump back to my meta team. So bye to Greninja. If you want to check those out, I'll link to it now. I'll also link to my playlist for the latest season. It's a bit sparse because I haven't actually been doing that many battles. So we'll jump in. I'm running Gallade on the lead, with Alolan Muk and Lapras in the back. So Gallade into Machamp, really favourable lead. Unfortunately, I stayed just a little bit too long for the Abomasnow, so it was able to get off a charge move, and I do have to shield that up. I'm going to swap into Lapras, which is a risky-ish sort of move. Energy Ball comes through, and it is super effective. So for this one, I'm going to throw my Surf. Hopefully I can grab a shield. It is going to be doing resisted damage, and they get to another charge move, so that's really unfortunate for me. I'm going to let that go, and it is the Weather Ball. So obviously they were trying to bait my shield there, and I'm able to get to take that down and maintain switch. Out comes the Machamp. Unfortunately, they did shield the Ice Beam, and then they're able to switch into Ampharos and take all my energy from the Lapras. So really good switch there to take that out, because I did have a Surf charged up. I'm going to come in with the Alolan Muk, obviously, because I want to save the Gallade for the Machamp. So they've went straight for the Focus Blast, which is fine. No shield there. I'm going to look to throw the Leaf Blade straight away, take this out, don't want it throwing another charge move, and then going to look to charge this down. So I'm going to throw the shield up. It is just the cross chop, but that's fine. I do have a Leaf Blade and probably should have just thrown that. We're going to throw good old close combat, and that's going to get the job done, and I'm able to win the match. So that first one is a good game. So happy with that. So yeah, getting that match up at the start, really good, and then going into the Lapras actually worked out really well, because obviously they had the Ampharos in the back, so obviously didn't want the Ampharos matched up against my Lapras, so good to burn that on the Abomasnow, even though all of their matchups were good. So jumping into the next one, and it is Empoleon on the lead. So I'm going to throw the Drill Peck, so I do need to shield that up. I'm going to throw the Leaf Blade here and hopefully grab a shield, and I am able to do so. So going to look to now throw the Close Combat, and hopefully this time I don't get a shield, and they've double shielded it, so good for them. They've won switch. But I'm up a shield, so I'm going to come in with the Lapras here because it can tank all of Empoleon's charge moves. Let's see what they want to do. So not going to shield this. I expect it to be a Drill Peck coming through, and it is the Hydro. So it's Drill Peck and Hydro Cannon. I thought Drill Peck did more v Lapras, but I'll have to check that matchup out. If anyone knows, just put it down in the comments and I'll have a look. So going to throw the Surfs here. So Surfs are definitely the better move than the Ice Beam, because Ice Beam is double resisted. So swap out and try and catch that charge move. So able to catch that charge move with the Alolan Muk, and then they throw the Dragon Claw. So really bad for me, and then I'm just going to go straight up Gunk Shot and see the shields are down on their side, and as you can see, that does a whole lot of damage. So that's absolutely spectacular there. We'll see what happens. Out comes Swampert, and I'm going to go to another charge move on the Alolan Muk, and then they're going to have to throw energy. If they try and charge me down, I will get to another Dark Pulse, so throw the energy, and then out it goes. So going to throw the Ice Beam here. Ice Beam's going to do slightly more damage. Unfortunately, it leaves it with 1 HP. And out comes the Empoleon, and I'm able to get to the charge move. So throw the Ice Beam because I thought it would be able to take it out before I got to the charge move, and then I'd be sitting in a much nicer spot, but was still able to get to that Surf and take that game. So really close game there, but good game all the same. So able to take game number 2. So jumping into the next one, again, leading Gallade. So Gallade I do really like. So Gallade into Typhlosion, not ideal, but also not too bad because I do outpace it to moves, and I got an extra fast move in there. So I'm going to shield this up. Going to be, I thought it was going to be Blast Burn. It was not Blast Burn, so instead I'm going to double shield the overheat. I know I've gone down 2 shields, but I have got a lot of energy. So out comes the Sceptile, and Sceptile is going to cause a bit of a problem. Unfortunately, I was not able to get to another charge move. So there goes 2 Leaf Blades worth of energy. So got a bit greedy there, and that could be very, very costly. So going to jump into the Alolan Muk because it will be resisting the grass type moves. Let's see what its second move is. Earthquake, and that almost one-shots it. So this is looking really, really bad. Hopefully I can take this out before it gets to a charge move, but as you can tell, I can't. Sceptile gets to charge move so very quickly, and it's going to absolutely destroy me here. Smackdowns from the Crustal are going to be enough to take me out. So unfortunate here, and that's a good game. So not throwing those charge moves on the Sceptile really cost me there. So had I been able to, well, had I thrown both of those Leaf Blades, may have been a slightly different outcome. So got a bit greedy on that, and it cost me the game. So Charizard on the lead, and I will swap out to Alolan Muk, and hopefully they swap out as well. Unfortunately, they're not swapping, and they're going to throw a charge move. It is the Blast Burn. It does most of my damage there, which is really unfortunate, but going to start throwing my own moves. So Dark Pulse gets the shield and able to get to another Dark Pulse before they're able to get to a charge move, and that's overcharged on energy, so I would try and grab that shield. So looking good for me there. Expecting this to be a Blast Burn, but I still will no shield this. It's going to do just under 50% damage there, and then I will be able to charge down. So out comes a Machamp there. I'm going to swap into my Gallade, and then they swap out instantly into their Swampert. So this is not a good matchup for them, especially if I've got an energy lead and I've got a lead on shield. So going to look to get to a charge move. So I've got back-to-back Hydro Cannons. I'm going to shield both of those up, and then going to throw the Leaf Blade. So they're out of shields, and I've almost got back-to-back Leaf Blades stored. One more charge move should do it, but they have got energy on the Machop. All of the charge moves that they usually running Rock Slide and Cross Chop, all going to be resisted, and then able to get to my Leaf Blade and take that out. So pretty comfortable win there in the end, because, well, they decided not to swap out of the Machamp into Alolan Muk, which was probably their mistake, so should have swapped into the Swampert straight away. So Swampert on the lead, so this is pretty good for me. I will have to shield this up. It is going to be the Hydro Cannon. We get to the Hydro Cannon and the Leaf Blade at the same time, but they do get their, well, I say at the same time, they get their sort of a move first, but because their fast move is faster than mine, they will always win that unless they miss a fast move. So I'm going to let that go and then throw straight into the next Leaf Blade. We'll see if they want to double shield this up, and they do. So they decide to double shield there. So what I'm going to do here is let the Gallade go, and I'll come in with the Lapras and look to farm down. They obviously knew that was happening, but what I want to do is get an energy start. So they charged up to a move on their Swampert before they left, and then got out of there. So got to be mindful of that in end game. So going to do the same with my Lapras. So charge up to get a charge move banked, and then swap into the Alolan Muk into the Snorlax. So not going to shield this up. I want to save it for the Swampert if it comes out and decides to Earthquake me. I've got the double Dark Pulse now, and then going to start throwing these moves. So that should be enough to take it out. Unfortunately, it isn't, and not quite able to get to farm it down, so that's really bad. But I do have double Dark Pulse again saved, and just going to instantly throw that straight away. So it doesn't matter what comes out. Out comes a Togekiss, and that's really awful. So would have really loved to throw the Gunk Shot there, because that would have absolutely one-shot it. But what I'm going to do is switch out and throw the Ice Beam, and that's going to take out the Togekiss. As I said, Swampert has energy charge. It is just the Hydro Cannon, so not going to be enough. Probably get to another one, which it has, but I'm going to be able to survive the Hydro Cannon. Should have saved up and thrown the Earthquake, and then it would have been a much, much closer game. But that being said, I was expecting the Swampert to come out, so I instantly threw the Dark Pulse instead of the Gunk Shot. So really unfortunate for me. That Gunk Shot would have absolutely one-shot it, and that would have been a very, very solid victory for me there. Made it a little bit hard for myself. So next match out comes the Galarian Stunfisk. So this is very good if you have it powered up. So if you've got lots of XL candy, power this thing up and it is a beast. Unfortunately, it's going to be a little bit weak at the current state because it is throwing Rock Slides. So the thing you want to do is make sure you over farm to the Earthquake. So I have to shield. If I know it's a Rock Slide coming, or if the opponent knows it's a Rock Slide, then they're not going to have to shield. So able to get off a couple of Leaf Blades, and they just let it go straight back down. Out comes the Kingdra. So Kingdra is really not good for me. I just got to the Leaf Blade, but they were able to charge me down. So going to come out with the Lapras. The Ice Shards are going to be doing neutral damage because of the Dragon typing and the water typing, and then going to throw into a Surf here, try and grab a shield, and I was able to do so. So that is their last shield, so I'm 2 shields to none up. So I'm going to use a shield here in case it's something big. It's not. It's an Octazooka. Unfortunately, we did CMP tie, but I do want to take this thing out. I'm sick of it doing a whole bunch of damage. So out comes the Charizard, and then I'm going to look to get to, and I know that this is a Dragon Claw. They can't get to a Blast Burn that fast, but I still shielded up. So that's probably a bit of a mistake, but I do want to get to this Surf. So I'm going to throw the Surf and then swap straight into my Alolan Muk. Even if they get to a Blast Burn, they're going to, it's not going to be enough to take me out, and then I'm going to be able to throw my Dark Pulse and take this match. So that is a good game. And the reason I wanted to switch out there is because I didn't want them to over farm on energy and be able to throw charge moves before I was able to get to a Dark Pulse. So swap it out there, knowing that a Blast Burn is going to come through, and I can tank it with the Alolan Muk. Is all good. So good game right there. And we'll jump into the next one. So Gallade into Charizard, really bad lead for me, and I'll swap into the Alolan Muk, hoping that they swap into something else. So I'm going to go straight for the Gunk Shot here, and we'll see what they want to do. So if they don't shield this, and they don't, that does huge amounts of damage, 90%? So because they took that one, I'm going to let this go. So Dynamic Punch is going to do a lot of damage, which it did, and then I'm going to look to come in and farm down with the Gallade. So he's fully expecting this Charizard to come back out. I'm going to throw a Leaf Blade because I'm half expecting, well, I'm wanting a shield here because Leaf Blade going unshielded does absolutely nothing. Unfortunately, they did not shield. So I'm going to shield this up, and it is just a Dragon Claw. So really nice bait from them. And then I'm going to look to throw another move, expecting this to be another Dragon Claw because it was just too fast. And I was able to get to my Leaf Blade. So 1 HP. And able to get to that Leaf Blade, and then I've shielded up the second Leaf Blade, so really good for me here. And I'm going to look to farm down. So they swap into their Swampert here, and I'm going to throw straight into the Ice Beam, and they don't shield it, so that works out really, really nicely for me. I do know that they've got energy on the Charizard, so I need to be mindful of that. So Hydro Cannon coming through, not going to shield, and because it's too quick, another Hydro Cannon coming through, absolutely fine. And now I'm going to throw my Surf and take this out. They have got energy here, but they've got enough health, so no need to throw a charge move, and we'll fast move farm that down. So both ended with a shield, because obviously neither of us wanted to throw a charge move until we had back to back, and I was able to farm them down before that happened. So really good game there, and we'll jump into the next one and see what we get. So Gallade into Venusaur, so pretty good lead for me here. I have got Alolan Muk that can also deal with this. Here I do expect to see a close combat come through, and it is the close combat, but that's absolutely fine. I will overfarm just a fraction, count those charge moves. It only takes 3 to get to a Leaf Blade, and then they don't shield, so down it goes. Out comes the Swampert. And then I'm going to go for the Dark Pulse. So they're not shielded either. So we're on even shields, but I have managed to maintain switch. And they're looking to farm me down, and that just takes too long. Dark Pulse is pretty spammy, and they've had to spend a shield here. So they have got lots of energy stored. I'm going to come out with Lapras. I fully expect them to swap into Venusaur. So no shield here. Don't need to worry about it. It is the Hydro Cannon. Not 100% sure. Out comes the Venusaur. I'm going to swap into my Gallade straight away, and then I can shield this up and see what they want to do here. So look to farm this down. I am going to throw the Leaf Blade here, see if I can grab another shield. I don't expect I will be able to, but that Leaf Blade is going to put me in a decent spot, and unfortunately it just wasn't enough to mean I didn't have to spend a second shield. Out comes the Swampert, and I'm just going to throw my Leaf Blades, and they don't shield up because they know that's GG's at this point. So really good game there. I had extra energy, so was going to throw back to back. Well, I had one confusion in between, but then throwing a second Leaf Blade would be enough to get that game, so they let that one go. So jumping in, so Gallade Mirror, so not ideal. So what I want to try and do here is get an extra confusion through, and I wasn't able to do it. So I'm going to need to shield this first one up. Let's see what they want to do. And then they didn't get an extra one through, so happy days. So wait for them to throw one more confusion, and then jump in after, and then want to swap into my Muk at the time to catch this Leaf Blade. Leaf Blade's going to do no damage. I expect them to swap out, which they're not, which is surprising. It gave me a little bit of time to build up energy, and then I'm going to go straight for the Gunk Shot. Let's see if they want to shield this up or not, and they don't shield it up, so that's going to be absolutely massive. Able to do a ton of damage there. So I'm not going to shield this up, and they do get to the Cross Chop, and I'm just not able to get to another Dark Pulse, which is really, really frustrating. Not going to shield this up. Let this go. Cross Chop, not going to do enough to take me out here. Fully expect to see there. And out comes a Venusaur. So really interesting there. I'm going to let that thing take me down. Very glad I got a close combat in, and they shield up the Surf, which is really, really good. I'm going to have to shield this up, but I think they're going to have get to another Frenzy Plant before I'm able to get to it. They are, and this is going to be enough to take me out, and not quite able to throw the Surf on the Gallade as they swapped it in and got that confusion damage through. So good game there. Yeah, bit of a bad one for me, but was able to make it a lot closer than it necessarily could have been. Unfortunately, was not able to flip that match and get the win. So got errored out there for some reason, and we'll jump straight back in and see how we go. So I really do like Gallade as a lead because it's just so spammy with its charge moves, and on the lead we've got Venusaur here. So really good, was able to get an extra fast move through there. Going to shield this one up, and it is the Sludge Bomb. So here I want to shield once and either force them to shield or lose that match. So going to swap into my Alolan Muk here, because obviously I want to Charizard matched up against my Lapras, and then they swap into their Swampert, which is really good for me because obviously Swampert, yeah, is going to be super effective against Alolan Muk, but I can let this go pretty comfortably, and I can get those charge moves going through fairly quickly. So going to let this go. So now I'm going to come in with my Lapras to tank these charge moves, and they can tank them pretty well. I'm going to charge up a whole lot of energy here and look to throw back-to-back Surfs on the Charizard. Don't need to shield this up, even if it is an Earthquake, it does not matter. Charizard and Blast Burn is what's going to do the damage. So get the shield there. Unfortunately, not quite able to get there. I'm expecting, so Dragon Claw came through there. I didn't think they had enough energy, but I might as well solidify the win. So going to be able to get taken out by the Dragon Claw. Gallade's going to come in, going to be able to fast move farm this down and throw a Leaf Blade onto the Swampert as soon as it comes back in, and that's going to be good game. Very little health left, but wanted to throw that charge move just to it was getting a bit close and didn't want to lose the game. So able to go 4-1 in both of those sets, so really good. So there is clearly a reason meta is meta. Much easier wins than Greninja, but so hopefully that was useful for someone. Up to rank 16. Thanks very much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye for now.